Hi, and welcome to Savage Zombie Reviews. I'm Dave Oliver, and thank you for joining me for what is my first ever review. A little bit nervous about doing this, I'm not going to lie. This is the first time I've ever tried to do anything like this, so I just thought might as well jump in and give it my best shot and give it a go. The first film I've chosen to review is House from 1986, starring William Katt. And the reason why I've chosen to do this one first was a bit of a nostalgia thing for me because I absolutely loved this film as a kid. I watched it hundreds of times, and it was just an excuse for me to be able to rewatch it again to speak about the movie, oh, pardon me, to you guys. And that's what I did. And I loved it just as much now as what I did when I was a kid. So I am looking at this film through rose-tinted glasses, just to let you all know. It's a bit of a biased review, I'm not going to lie. But just to let you know about what my review style is going to be like. Probably going to be a little bit all over the place. Like I say, I'm not used to doing anything like this. I'm a newcomer. I'm not a professional movie reviewer. I'm not a critic. I'm just a normal guy that's a big fan of horror movies, that loves talking about horror movies. That's it. And it's going to be like when if we've watched the film and we're talking about it afterwards and I'm giving you my opinion on it. That's basically what my reviews are going to be like. So with that being said, let's dive in to House 1986. And, oh, where do I even start with this movie? Where do I even start? It's... Oh, right. I'll just get this like straight off the bat. It is just good, cheesy 80s horror fun. It really is. It's a proper horror comedy. And it toes the line really well. For me anyway, personally, between the comedy and horror. And it works. The comedy for me is funny. And the horror is really good in the movie. It's not scary. In my opinion, it's not scary, but there are some creepy moments throughout the film, and it makes you think, why are you still hanging around the house? Basically, I'd be long gone. But anyway, to get into the plot of the movie, William Katt plays author Roger Cobb, and his auntie commits suicide and leaves him with her home. Roger decides to move into the house to help him write his new book, which is going to be about his experiences in the Vietnam War. Also, while trying to look for his son, who in the past goes missing in the house, basically, or he was swimming in the swimming pool and goes missing. It's weird. But anyway, he decides to stay in the house and to finish his novel and try to find his son. I think, and I've watched the movie, I think that's why he does it. And that's basically it. Getting into my positives, what I love about this movie is it makes a change when they don't try to give you reasons to why the house is haunted. It just is. There's no backstory, there's no convoluted plot of to why this is happening, that's happening with the house. It just is. And you just have to accept that. And that's fine. I really don't mind that. The effects on the creatures within the house are fantastic. Like the costumes, the makeup. I love practical effects. And even if they're a little dated nowadays, obviously, because, in older movies, I still appreciate the work that goes into them and how much of a ball ache a lot of it must have been back in the day. Because I'm not against CGI at all. But it can really take you out of a movie, I think, if done poorly. I mean, if done well, I mean, CGI is amazing in a lot of movies. But I think when it comes to horror movies, if CGI done badly, it can really take you out of the experience of the movie. But I'm going off on it. I'm going off on a completely different subject now. But the effects in the movie are really good, really good. Like the soundtrack to the movie as well. It's got some catchy tunes in it, which I really like. I'd say the negatives for me. There's one big one, and it's part of the story that to me just makes no sense at all. And I'll explain it to you what happens. So basically, Roger has a neighbour who's really beautiful, by the way, and no, it's not Norm from Cheers who's in the movie, not him. It's the foreign blonde woman, and she meets Roger very briefly a couple of times. Actually, just speaks to him the once, right? So during this meeting where she's talking to him for the first time, she's swimming in the pool of Roger's house, which apparently his aunt used to let her do, whatever. Okay, that's fine. But during this time, when he first meets Roger, he's actually digging up his garden, and he's got a body in a black plastic bag next to him, which was a creature within the house that he's killed, and he's burying in the garden, right? Now, he's acting a little bit shady and suspicious as it is, because he's been through some shit by this point. So, he's not really all there. He's holding it in well, to be fair to him. If I was going through all that crap, well, first off, I wouldn't still be in the fucking house anyway. But he's doing well. He's doing well. I wouldn't be handling it as well as him. So they briefly talk. Anyway, she goes off. And then, in another scene, she knocks on his door and basically just gives him, her kid, and goes, babysit him for me. Like, who does that? Like, what parent would literally just throw their kid off to someone that they don't even know? And when they did meet them, they were a bit off. They're not, you know what I mean? It just threw me completely. And it's not even finished by this point. When she drops the kid off, there's a hand on the back of a kid, like a zombie hand, of the body that he was burying in that back garden, is back on the kid. So he chases the kid a little bit around the house, through the front room, through the kitchen, grabs the kid, takes the kid into a bathroom, manages to get the hand off the kid, flushes it down the toilet, brings the kid back out the bathroom. Kid's crying, by the way. And she's there going, oh, is everything okay? And Roger's like, yeah, everything's fine. She goes, all right, well, here's his toys. Have a good night. I'm off to get some dick. Amazing. And not only that, she's dropping the kid off to a complete stranger in a house that's haunted. And the house took the last kid. Roger's son is still hiding in the house somewhere. And lo and behold, the house tries to kidnap this kid as well. It just made no sense to me. None. I understand why it's in the movie. It's to build up a bit of tension with a kid being there and make the stakes higher. And the house goes for the kid. You know what's going to happen. But the whole scenario to get the kid in the house makes no sense. In saying that, though, I'm not a parent. Maybe if I had a kid and I was single parent, I'd just be throwing my kid off to a complete stranger as well and just hoping for the best. Who knows? In saying that, parenting was different in the 80s, so there is that. But all in all, I highly recommend this movie. If you haven't seen it, it's worth a watch. I will admit, it's not for everybody. It isn't. I was surprised how many people actually don't like this movie. But the points they make, I get, and I understand it. Like, a lot of the people's points they make that don't like the movie, they find the comedy and the horror very jarring. It's like the first kind of 20 minutes to half an hour, it plays the film quite seriously. And then it just goes into like a full-blown comedy. It's like a Looney Tunes sketch kicks in. But that's what I like about it. So I do understand why people dislike the movie. But I'm definitely on the fence of love it. I think it really is worth your time. Even if you're not a horror fan. I think there's a lot of fun to be had with this film. And I'm definitely going to give it a high mark. Like I say, I am looking at this film for rose-tinted glasses. I understand that. But I'm going to give the film a 4 out of 5. I think it's definitely worth your time checking out. I watched it on the Arrow channel. That's on Amazon Prime in the UK. That's how I got mine. But you can get the House movie cheap enough. You can get the House series box set on Amazon, I think, for like maybe £25 if you want to. Or just join the Arrow channel, which is like £5 a month. They're all on there if you want to check it out. But while I'm doing these reviews as well, I like to do a little bit of background checking on the movies and just see if there's any like little bits of, nice information I can give you. And I found some pretty decent little things, which I've got wrote down on my little notepad here. I was going to try and memorise this and just do it talking to you, but I might as well just read it and tell you while I'm here. I'm not I'm not that good as of yet, as you can clearly see. House was a modest hit. To be fair, it did okay. It grossed $22.1 million worldwide on a $3 million budget, which is decent, I think, for an 80s horror movie. Anyway, for a small budget, what it was. It was directed by Steve Miner, who just previously to this movie did Friday the 13th Part 2 and Part 3. So he was on a bit of a winning streak, and I think he did a great job directing this movie as well. Also, let's have a nose. What else was it? Oh, it was that's right. It was Story was created by Fred Dekker, who's done 2 of my favourite horror movies, which is Night of the Creeps, which is an absolute gem of a movie, and I will review that at some point in the future, definitely. And he also did The Monster Squad, which I think he directed as well, but I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure on that. But he had a hand in the story in this House. He also had a hand in the story in House 2, the second story, which will be my next review. And also Kane Hodder, who, let's face it, is the best Jason Voorhees. Let's just put that out there. He was a stuntman on House and House 2, which I didn't know. So that was cool to see. And I don't think I've got anything else here, really, have I? No, I don't. So, yeah, highly recommend watching it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you've liked this video. I will get better the more I do this. I promise I will. But I just needed to get this one out the way. Let go of the nerves and just do it. Again, I'd like to thank you so much for joining me. And if you like this video, please subscribe to me. If you didn't like this video, please subscribe to me. You know what I mean? I don't mind. Okay, guys, please take care of yourselves. And thank you so much. And hope you join me next time. Thank you.